Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine if you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. Then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim.
Если кто жертвой был, нахуй, я уже забыл.
First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
Это неизвестный, вид 16-й.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Ты дурак, блядь, она здесь сидит.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
Блядь, как он дожил, нахуй, до последних дней.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
Ну да, куда еще? Ну, блядь. Не все вспомнили об этом.
Я завтра гулять пойду.
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh! You know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
Верно.
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
Блядь, что за хуйней мы занимаемся, я не понимаю.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Ой, как хорошо она не раскачивается-то, а. Это я про прицел.
Then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she
Блядь.
was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt
Не
up in
было
the explosion.
перчаток.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Shoot!
Блядь, так сложно нахуй влиться, надо было
Kyoko there is
не
just a
делать такой
ghost.
перерыв.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
На трупе не было
They
перчаток.
got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Это, блядь, я ничего не пойму.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's
Блять.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
Там же ногти были на ней накладные.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong.
Я уже все нахуй забыл, блять.
No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
Блять, он сейчас взорвется.
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't...
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Ой, бедный Бьякую.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition, and there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Да ё-моё.
Nothing else we can do, right? If Kyoko really is, then who died?
There's gotta be some way... I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond... and there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
No, that's wrong. There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Чего?
Seriously? They really did something
Блять.
humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Так, подожди.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
А, блядь, а что так сложно, нахуй? Yes. Как это пройти?
Understand? representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Wolf!
The Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo.
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
What? Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us, just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Я сейчас включу видосик, чтоб тебя заснимал. Говорю, сейчас камеру включу, чтоб тебя снимала. А?
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
Когда тело было уже сухое. Разгрузителя.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Да.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock...
No, that's wrong! Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on! I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Ну так верхняя часть, где я тушил.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How How dare you spew such indecent words?
No,
Ты
I'm
дура,
saying
блин.
that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, you're totally wacko.
Я согласен.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Ну и автор тебе.
Ой, бля.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything!
А!
How can you say it wasn't the...
This should prove it.
Бля, ну вроде научился нахуй в этот момент истины играть.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? I'm so sick of her.
Блять, я согласен.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because... while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Ну, блядь, ну не могла она.
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever.
Ну, такое себе выражение, конечно, ну ладно.
Which is why I can't let that happen.
То есть ты будешь сейчас топить на меня, что ли?
Saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
Ох, нихуя.
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
И какая?
She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would
Wait.
take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
А зачем я сам, блядь, это говорю?
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that.
Так, блядь, грязь, это же, ну... Снизу на полу тащили, нет? А не то, что сверху. Сверху она, блядь, не заморалась бы, а просто мокрая была.
Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water.
Что-то бред какой-то.
The
Как она...
side that
От
they
чего бы она
found
сверху бы заморалась?
kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body
Что
from
ты
getting
какую-то хуйню
soaked.
несешь?
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
Так. Тело перед взрывом, телом после взрыва, фрагмент рядом с телом.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp... It was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Блядь, не долетело.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it.
So the reason the tarp was because the sprinkler...
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless.
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Блядь.
Covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevents.
So the reason the tarp is because the sprinkler...
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless.
It's because that side was protected from... Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
No, that's wrong.
Она в крови была.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage? what if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office! That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Курицы же не было одной. Пропавшая курица.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked
Да,
the
их же
chicken
было
coop
5,
before the
блядь, стало
murder,
4.
there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
Ну, кстати, да. Типа не то, что она должна была впитаться, а должна была остаться, потому что, ну, просто так курицу разрезать, кровь вытекла и все. А куда ее дел, типа в пакет, что ли, чтобы не капало или как?
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time. What settles what?
Что все это постанова.
The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they've already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no, I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
Ага. Ладно.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Ты дурак?
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
One we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was...
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it!
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
The knife we found lodged in... It's the same one we gave to... It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that knife before, that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
No, that's wrong.
Это не так.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving...
Охуеть, это постанова, конечно. Это, блядь, как нужно было додуматься до всего этого?
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but... What's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Там был кусок... Да, вот он.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Бля, туда-сюда, с Кёка на меня, с меня на Кёка.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me.
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
О, хоть подсказка была сконцентрироваться, значит, самому что ли выбрать? Даже вариантов не дали.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has...
The explosion didn't kill her.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't because of the knife.
Алло, блядь.
There's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah.
Я ж попадаю.
Gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire...
В смысле, блядь? Может, наоборот надо?
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
А, бесчисленные раны по всему телу, это не то.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury...
А, сюда надо было,
The
блядь.
explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Я выброшу.
Yeah. She was already.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her
Да, блядь.
entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be...
О,
No, that's wrong. Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh, yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off.
ну да.
You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
Что-то убийца сегодня не выходит.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page.
Блять, а вы друзья, наверное, да?
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
У нас же были эти, обвязанные лентой стрелы.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
А нахуя нужно было оставлять эти... Ну, скотч окровавленный в шкафчике. А, блядь, это подстава, все понял.
I'm not backtalking anything.
Короче, это не
I'm
Кёка
just
и
saying
не
what I
Макото.
think.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo. I have no doubt that was the
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced.
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thick.
No, that's wrong.
Он их связал.
Just the one arrow
Ну,
would
не
have been
связал,
too weak.
скорее.
That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder
Какой-то странный перевод.
As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter?
Жестко посмеялся.
Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I got it!
Ключ, блядь, а как у нее ключ тогда оказался в постели, при том, что она письмо отдала это? Что-то, блядь, очень странно.
The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb.
А,
That key is just the
может, блядь,
final piece of the
кто-то
puzzle.
подложил взамен чего-то другого?
Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know. Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly
Какое
what
время обнаружения тела, блядь?
I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Почему, блядь, время обнаружения тела?
Never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room. Correct, but could I really have done that?
Ну, блядь, я просто других вариантов не вижу. Они сами, так сказать, сами себе вопросы, ответы дают. Точно! Ключ от комнаты Кёка отдала Бьякуе, блядь.
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly what
Ебать.
The killer.
Точно.
you should understand.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No, that's wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Huh? Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
it would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
Какая? Так. Можно просто посмотреть, что будет. Сначала одно, потом загрузиться, если вдруг. И не скрывать. Давай раскроем пока.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then? I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about
Блядь, я
that,
не помню,
right?
что у нее там за показания были.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation.
А. Так. Ничего не понял.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation.
Люка сама сказала мне перед тем, как начался суд, что она украла что-нибудь очень важное с кабинета директора. Блять, а что мне делать-то?
Because I'd given it to Byakuya.
Я дала его
There's
Бьяку.
no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
А куда мне стрелять-то показания, Кирка?
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Давай сюда. О!
No, that's wrong.
Нихуя себе. Ебать. Просто вообще непонятно было.
Kyoko could have gotten into her room.
А, то, что она мультиключ этот украла.
You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it.
Ну это, блядь, понятно и так.
So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out.
Ты спешишь, блядь.
So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you! But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
Блять, это чисто ради того, чтобы посмотреть, нахуй. На такую хуйню я не пойду, блять. Потому что я потом переиграю, чтобы соврать, потому что, ну, не. Я не верю, что она что-то делала. С чего, блять? Он, блять, 100% нахуй он хуйню сделал.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment. Let's give it everything we've got.
Блять, даже смотреть не хочу. Мне ее так жаль. Блять, не хочу смотреть, пиздец. Ну, блядь, ну давай уже. Я не хочу так долго. Это жестоко. А вот мне не смешно, блядь. Вообще не смешно. Если что, просто, блядь, ну, сосед в комнате. Что, блядь? Ё-моё. Блядь, это что за дичь? Это... Блядь. Блядь, это жесть какая-то. Вот, я прав, это неправильно.
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
А, нас вернули даже обратно. Блядь, это охуенно, не пришлось переигрывать. Блядь, ну это, мне кажется, самый ужасный момент, блядь, из всех, что было. Конечно, нет.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room, that it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of.
Типа то, что это, когда Макото подсматривал под кровать, ну не под кровать, а под постель, то сам, мол, положил этот ключ.
Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What?
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why...
Okay, time's up!
Вот, блядь.
Huh?
Ой.
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
Эту же фразу говорил Макото, блядь.
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time.
Бля, это правильно, походу, сделал, что сначала плохую концовку посмотрел.
So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
О, нихуя себе. Все, Классно.
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Ну, наверное, таким же, как был с Кёко. Он же разные не придумывает для всех отдельно. Только один.
Sorry.
Ну, блядь, по лицу Бьяку он тоже не согласен.
Yes, indeed. Yep. Hey! Shing! Thrills, chills, kills!
I don't expect you to forgive me.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Ой. Блядь, ну... Блядь, даже сказать нечего. И чё, сейчас что-то все хана, потому что другого-то выбора нету. Одну концовку мы посмотрели, а здесь что, вторая типа концовка или что? Здесь даже музыка другая. Ну, Макото не так жалко. Как было с Кёко. Так, и чё? Не бойся. Что-нибудь сейчас произойдет. О! Оба. Чихира. Альтер-эго. Оба-на. Она ж, блядь, все-таки она смогла что-то взломать. Ни хера себе. Он, да, он же он. Он же он. Охренеть.
This is...
It would seem
Бля, реально абсолютный программист Чихира спас нас.
What the heck?
in other words. Calm down. In other words,
What did you say?
so
Так, что дальше? Чего, блядь? А почему текст и музыка с самого начала игры? Не может же быть это концовкой. Мне кажется, ему это, блядь, снится там, где он валяется. Это абсолютное начало. НГ. Ну это как мы проснулись в школе. Во, я ж говорю, блядь, что он в мусорке. Это да. Ебать. Нет, это бабочка. Блять, ты как живой остался? Кстати, ракета похожа на ту, что была в самом начале. Да хотя бы гниль есть. Да, блядь. Хм. Блядь, только хотел сказать лежать, спать, и он решил поспать. Естественно. А кто?
Just a second.
О, это Кёка. Нихуя себе. Да, мы все поняли, кто это.
It smells
О,
awful.
у нее на голове Наруто.
Indeed. So...
Блять, такой звук вставили, как будто это ужас какой-то.
Hey,
Кстати, интересно, сколько по времени он здесь находился? Нельзя резко и быстро есть после сильной голодовки. Это очень вредно.
hmm? So... You... Indeed.
Так ты знал, что я знал?
I...
Только вопрос, почему во время моего суда Макото выжил, то есть Чихира пришла и остановила, а во время Кёка нет. Очень странно. Хотя, может быть, Кёко что-то нажала. Вряд ли.
However, it's true. In other words, indeed. Makoto. That's right. It would seem... Hey. Indeed.
Это у меня сосед макак. Смеется.
However, why is that? Correct. However,
Блять.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
listen. Hey. Correct. So...
Это и так очевидно.
Correct. So...
Ух, нихуя.
In other words...
Huh?
No matter what?
So,
However,
Я напишу это. Сейчас это. Кем?
so it's true. Indeed. Correct. However, I so however, however, anyway, indeed. Correct. That's right. In other words, hey. Indeed. I anyway, correct.
А хули не заперта эту дверь-то, ё-моё.
However, correct. Indeed. Correct. In other words, Makoto. Indeed. That's right. It would seem... Indeed.
Да, насыщенная глава была прям вообще. Особенно классный суд. О. Ракета на острове мечты. Так, не понял. А, ну да. Понял.
Anyway... Indeed. That's right. It's true.
О, классно.
Indeed.
Бля, игра охуенная. Оба.
Hey.
Охуенно веселые моменты.
So... Wrong. Right. Indeed.
Вы охуеть, просто не остановить этого человека, блядь.
It's true. However, I... What? Wrong. However, I... So...
Класс. Цель жизни. Ради такого.
However... Right.
Перерывчик сделать будет.
I... However... So... However... I... Correct. Wrong. Hey.
Ну, конечно, нет.
Indeed.
А чё, нету никаких там замков, ключей, ничего? Странно
That's
как-то.
right.
А. Так зачем ты спрыгивала там? А, ну чтоб тебя не заметили? Хей, Hello.
Whew. Listen. So then, in other words, however, because so right. Indeed. Shall we go?
Well now, well now, well now, well now.
All good.
I don't believe it! Pung pung!
What?
Shing! Making me angry!
Right. However, now, if
Huh? Hey!
because in other words, however, right. Indeed. However, am I wrong? Listen to me.
Well?
Well, that doesn't matter. That's right.
Boom, boom.
Because however,
What the heck?
indeed. Hey,
Ну да.
indeed.
Кто же идет на трансляцию?
Listen to me. Hey,
Yes. All right.
that's what we have to do. It's true. It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Barrett! What's wrong?
in other words,
You guys! I can barely contain myself! Barrett! You guys! I can barely contain myself!
Who will die?
it's true.
You guys!
Listen to me. Hey,
What's wrong?
Hey,
А,
listen.
Now I'm really angry!
Whew.
Hey!
Hey,
ой.
however. Whew. So. Because. So. Listen. Indeed. However, in other words, so it would seem in other words, correct. Hey. That's right. It's true.
Йоу. Алло. Брат, а тебя
Макота.
тебя не температурит случай? Здорово, здорово. Может, ты выключил?
In other words,
Просто выключил прям. Нездорово.
at the very least,
Чё?
indeed.
Чё? Рассказывай, как смело.
Оба-на.
Сколько? За сегодня?
Right.
Это как?
I know, remember. One, two, и other parts.
It's true.
Юрий Тумани. Блядь.
Я не помню уже, какие там части были. Но есть вторая. У меня, короче, в Стиме есть 3 части.
Типа на двоих?
Хотя это надо на английском говорить.
Indeed. In other words, however, wrong.
Ну это знаешь почему это? Потому что по сути, ВБшные
Вот
товары,
вторая.
вещи,
Goodbye Despair.
всякие
И
штуки,
and
power
another
bank, яркие, то
episode.
есть там где то, что не нужно соблюдать какие-то температурные нормы,
Whew.
и они не испортятся. Хотя
I know one ending. Danganronpa 1.
ну вроде так-то не пыльно. Не пыльная работенка.
However, correct. Hey, however, anyway, shall we go?
Ну это типа студенты.
Чего? Скрыгови, кровиха.
80.
Yes, I play Danganronpa 2. Goodbye, Despair.
А штрафы это какой?
But then.
Whew.
First, I'll get all the achievements. Danganronpa 1.
However,
Не знаю, здесь есть ли еще кто-то.
Is that
Надеюсь, меня поняли.
Makoto?
You guys!
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
you survived?
Jeez. You're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
Да не призрак я, живой.
Я сейчас, получается, понедельник.
What?
Yes, of course.
What the heck?
Очень нравятся мне такие игры, прям вообще жесть.
Вторая пара, я там тоже один.
Если что, на фоне мой сосед, так что не серчайте. Я в общаге живу, ну, и в описании есть.
Мне поставили, что я отработал. Ну, заебись, я съебал.
Goodbye, Despair. Сначала. First, Goodbye, Despair. Danganronpa 2. Только сначала вторую, потом буду
Это
уже
ещё мало. Сейчас
play
как раз,
with...
я до мая точно
We...
буду.
Блять, как там 3? Free? Вы free? Free.
Ты посмотри, ты... Сейчас осталось... Блять, половина.
Если что, не стесняйтесь, пишите, я только буду рад поговорить с кем-нибудь. Я вот пытаюсь с иностранцем поговорить. Хоть я английский не знаю.
Похуй, он будет продать килограмм.
That's right. Hmm.
Yo!
Макото, каково тебе было в мире духов?
You know?
Так я был в мусорке, какие мир духов? Кто такой там был сенсей? Ну ё-моё, все ушли. Хоть бы написали что-нибудь, чтобы понять. Блядь, точно, я же грязный.
I'm telling you.
Блядь.
Ну, знаешь, как хорошо, у нас, блядь, супер.
Блядь, fucking тока, блядь, пиздец. Фу.
Ну, как бы, на парах соблазн вообще просто никого нет.
Makoto.
Сейчас о чем я буду говорить? Я какой план сейчас? Я безумно отработки подкачиваться. А там сейчас все работы поделаю.
Oh,
Потому что
so cute.
Yes.
сейчас я, получается, пока я, ну, типа, основную неделю учебу, а суббота, воскресенье я буду работать.
It's true. In other words,
Но я вообще хотел, чтобы... Я думаю, не проблематично.
How about that?
Потому что иначе на просто ставили.
wrong.
I see.
Huh? That's right.
Я думал, что сейчас... Я думал, Саша можно больше задержать.
Understand.
However,
What did you say?
however,
Насколько?
М,
Напевал. Ты мой сладкий, иди сюда.
Russian language heavy, over heavy, просто жесть.
Интересно.
correct.
Maybe say impossible.
Don't be mean.
About that.
Alright.
Hmm.
Так не говорится, да?
Это же здорово.
But
Anyway,
Oh no!
I hate you.
Нет, зачем? Зачем ты сказал? О,
anyway,
Not scary. Not scary.
Interesting.
Where are you from?
but
I'll drink too.
I
О, Аляска. Not bad. Аляска эскимо.
indeed.
So good.
I see.
Huh?
So, in other words,
Russia from Novosibirsk. Siberian.
Сука.
that's right.
It's not me, Lauhin. I live in a dorm.
No way!
Ну я не знаю, когда это делают, как искать.
Indeed.
Да, я в сортах я не разбираюсь. Я либо вот такая дынька, либо вот такая вот машина. И вот.
О,
Well, but
I'm right, right?
This is a school announcement. You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school. Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
Hmm?
Ну ты конь, конечно.
That's fine.
Надо было достать. Сейчас, подожди, дорогая, сейчас я по-быстрому.
yes.
Name of my family.
Yes, yes, yes.
Goodbye.
Hey.
Indeed.
You know?
Just a second.
How about that?
Aw. But... 'cause, I mean... But...
О, привет, зритель.
Okay.
Ушел. Ну ладно.
Indeed.
Можно поговорить, если хочешь, зашедшая душа.
However, so
Не, ну может быть зимнее время это просто прикол разводить для дочери. У меня же сейчас дома стоит, у меня котел, и печка.
so then,
Он загружаешь, и он типа вот неделю топится.
correct.
Ну прям с...
Makoto.
Да, должны.
Ну может это просто распределитель, типа не котел. Тоже Саньку верить.
О, ушел.
Ну,
Значит,
котел,
все-таки
да.
надо было.
Если это тот котел.
Все сбежим отсюда.
Или самих себя.
Бля, ну музычка огонь. Так, места просто запалены. А зачем это в пуле правды записывать? Чисто, чтобы мне было легче. Ну ладно, я думаю, на сегодня все. А то там еще дофига что.